Candyman. Now, Candyman is directed by Nia DeCosta and stars Yahya Abdul II and Teonyah Parris. And basically, the film follows Yahya Abdul II's character and Teonyah Parris' characters, who are both in a couple together and who both work in the art industry, but aren't really making any milestones in terms of their jobs. That is until Yahya Abdul II's character comes to his art piece called Candyman, which is basically this mirror, and if you look into the mirror and say the name Candyman 5 times, Candyman will appear and kill the person who said his name into the mirror. And basically, throughout the film, Yahya Abdul II's character starts getting more associated with Candyman and the killings surrounding him. And that's basically the plot of Candyman. And honestly, I wish I liked this film more than I did. I really do. Because the thing is, though, Jordan Peele, who's made some absolutely fantastic horror movies in the past couple of years, Get Out and Us, and I like Us more than most people, by the way. Jordan Peele, who's made some absolutely fantastic horror movies in the past couple of years, he co-wrote this film and he produced it. But the thing is, though, this film just felt like so much build-up without enough payoff. Honestly, it's a slow burn film, but it doesn't have the payoff you want it to have in the end. It does have payoff in there, but not the payoff that the film really needs to elevate to another level, because in the end, it left me feeling underwhelmed. I came out of the cinema after watching this yesterday, just feeling like I wanted to be like, wow, what a film. But then in the end, I just came out of the cinema thinking, that was a film, but I just wanted a bit more than that. I wanted to finish this film and feel like I did after watch Us and Get Out and be like, wow, what a film. But in the end, I didn't. And that's just kind of a shame of what, because, Jordan Peele, who, like I said before, directed Get Out and Us, is involved in the film. He co-wrote it and he produced it. But man, I just wish I liked this film as much as I liked them, or even more than I liked them. But in the end, I just didn't. And that's such a shame of all. Because, slow burn films can work. Films which build up in tension throughout the film and have these fantastic payoffs. Take a look at something like Joker, which came out in 2019. That's a slow burn film and has a fantastic payoff, with the whole Robert De Niro scene on the talk show. That's absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Or take a look at something like Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy or Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. Both brilliant slow burn films which have fantastic payoffs. Or take a look at films in the horror genre. Take a look at something like, A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2. Those films both have slow burns in them and then have fantastic payoffs. And then take a look at something like, Silence of the Lambs, but, slow burn film with fantastic payoffs in there. Or take a look at something like Get Out. That's a slow burn film with an absolutely fantastic payoff in my opinion. Or even Us for that matter. But the thing is, though, I wish I could say the same about Candyman, but I just can't in my opinion. I didn't really feel like the payoff was what the film really wanted it to be. There's a payoff in there, but it just didn't really feel satisfying enough, and it just didn't really feel like the payoff that the film needed it to be. And that's a shame, because the slow burn sometimes, and the build-up is so good. Honestly, there were some scenes in the film where I was quite literally on the edge of my seat because it was so intense. But the thing is, though, the payoffs weren't always there. I'd be on the edge of my seat in the cinema, then the payoff would come on the film, and I'd just be like, oh, that's how you kind of conclude everything in that scene, or in the film as a whole, and it just left me feeling a bit empty overall, and just be like, oh, I want to see more there. The film leaves quite a lot to be desired in the end, and I think that's kind of why it suffers. It doesn't always have the payoff that you want it to have. And at the same time, though, I don't really think the story is there either. I don't think the story really lifts off the ground. But I'll be talking about that again a bit later on in this review. But the thing is, though, like I said, it is a shame because there's so much quality on the screen. The performance is absolutely fantastic. Yahya Abdul II is absolutely brilliant once again. The fantastic performance, like I saw him do, Trial Chicago 7. He was brilliant in the Trial Chicago 7. And he was brilliant in this film as well. And at the same time, though, Teonyah Parris is fantastic as well, doing the best performance I've seen her do. She was good as Monica Rambeau in, WandaVision. But at the same time, though, in this film, her performance is a lot better. And I really like the dynamic between, Yahya Abdul II's character and Teonyah Parris as well in the film. And at the same time, though, I do think the film is very well made. I think that Nia DeCosta, the director of the film, clearly has an eye for horror. Honestly, some of the visuals in the film are absolutely fantastic, and it's such a good film to watch. It's one of those films which just the way it's shot just makes you interested in the film. I don't know if I'm entirely making sense there, but just the way it's shot and everything is so brilliant in my opinion. And honestly, the cinematography is absolutely fantastic. And at the same time, though, I also love the way that Nia DeCosta, builds up tension in some scenes as well. But like I said before, I was on the edge of my seat because of the way she built tension in the film, and at the same time, the eerie feel you have throughout so much of the film. Honestly, there's this eerie atmosphere throughout so much of the film, which works really well. But I just wish the payoffs were there in the end. And at the same time, though, I think the musical score is actually brilliant. Reminding me of the musical score for, John Carpenter's Halloween. Honestly, the musical score is so good for this film. It really is. And the filmmaking is brilliant, in my opinion. But the story isn't always there. That's what I felt when I was watching this film. It just feels like the writers want to dive more into the types of characters of the film more than they actually do. And I should say here, by the way, I haven't actually said this yet in my review. I'd be a bit naughty. I haven't actually said this yet in my review. That I haven't actually watched the original Candyman back in 1992. I haven't actually watched the original 1992 Candyman. But in the end, though, I never really felt like I needed to, by the way. And in the end, this film, you know, the Candyman remake, if you will, although I don't know if it is a remake. From what I'm hearing from other reviewers, it's a different film than the original. But in the end, this film just left me wanting more than I actually got. And it's a shame overall, because like I said, Jordan Peele is a co-writer in this film and a producer in this film. But maybe that's the issue. Maybe the fact that he's a co-writer and producer, and not the fact that he solely wrote and directed this film. Because, you know, if you look at something like Get Out and Us, you know, those films are solely written and directed by Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is just a co-writer in this film and a producer. He hasn't got his hands all over this film, and maybe that's why it doesn't work. I'm not saying Nia DeCosta is a bad director. That's not what I'm saying. She had nothing to do with the script as far as I'm aware. So what I actually think the issue with the film is having 3 writers on there and having a story which never really gets off the ground, and fantastic filmmaking, but at the same time, no, lackluster payoffs, which should be more than they actually are in the film. Just payoffs that should really, you know, grab you by hand and go, here, right, here's a payoff now. Look at this fantastic payoff in the film, and this is what you've been waiting for. But in the end, the payoffs, in my opinion, just come a bit too late. Honestly, sometimes the build-up is just so good. But at the same time, though, sometimes some of the slow burn just goes on for a bit too long, in my opinion. Honestly, there are a couple of moments in the film where I was like, can we not just get to the payoff now? I do think it is a bit too long. But nevertheless, you know, this film, it does have a quite low quality on screen. The performance is fantastic. The film is well shot. The music score is brilliant as well. But in the end, it's just, I think where this film falls is in its story and is in its lack of payoffs. Honestly, like I said, the payoffs are in there in the film, but they just don't feel like the payoffs that the film deserves. Honestly, you just kind of sit there at the end of the film and go, okay, that was a film. And you know, it wasn't that bad. I just kind of liked watching it. But I wanted to sit there at the end of the film and go, wow, that was absolutely brilliant. Now, it's one of my favourite horror movies I've seen in the past couple of years. But actually, for me personally, I just didn't feel that at the end of the film. And I wanted to, but I just did it in the end, and that's a shame. And so, overall, it's enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed watching this film, and by no means is it terrible. I won't even say it's a bad film either. I actually think it's very well made. But the thing is, though, the story isn't quite there, in my opinion, and the payoffs aren't what you want them to be. And so, all in all, I hate to say it, I really do, because I really wanted to like this film. But unfortunately, I'm going to say that Candyman, I'm going to say it's a 6.5 out of 10. Honestly, there's a lot of things to like in this film. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's a bad film either. I think so much of it is so well made, and I really like moments in the film. I really did. But in the end, you know, for me personally, the end of the film can make or break a film. The end of the film isn't bad, but it also isn't great. And I wanted to sit there and go, wow, at the end of the film. And I've noticed that a couple of times in the review, but it's the truth. I wanted to find the film going, wow, what a good horror movie. And I'm going to go and rave about that on, you know, this channel now. But I'm not. In the end, I understand that Candyman is good, but it could have been better. That's kind of what I'm saying in the end. It's good, but it could have been better. And that's a shame because, you know, Nia DeCosta, the director of the film, clearly has an eye for horror. Honestly, the way she directs from the sequences and just the opening credits alone are also airing just so brilliantly shot. And the performances are so good. Honestly, when you're watching the film, you really feel like you're watching a modern day horror film like Us and Get Out. But the thing is, though, it never quite gets to the level of, you know, Get Out or Us. In the end, it ends up getting more confused with itself. That's what it really feels in the end. It doesn't really feel like the story never really gets off the ground. And that's just my issue with the film overall. By no means is it bad. I enjoyed watching it, but I wish the payoffs were there where they needed to be, and I wish the story got off the ground more, and we learned more about Candyman. In the end, I just got more confused about Candyman than I really should have, and that's just a shame overall, because I really wanted to like this film. I really did. I really want to come out of the cinema yesterday and go, wow, what a film. But in the end, I didn't. I just went, oh, that was a film. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, though, in my opinion. And I hate to say that, I really do, because I really want to like this film. But unfortunately, I just think that Candyman lacks the story and lacks the payoff that the film really needs to elevate it to another level. And so, all in all, I'm going to like Candyman. I'm going to say that it's a 6.5 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Candyman? Please do comment down below and know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more both film and TVs come very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, bye for now, bye!